Hello everyone, and welcome back to Pilates on the Water. And in today's session we're going to focus on some exercises that are good for improving some common postural problems that you might be having. So our natural postural alignment plays a significant role in whether we might be having problems such as back pain, for instance, but also we have to consider our activities that we do every day, our leisure pursuits, and also possibly our occupation can also play an important role. If you have an injury or condition, you might already be aware of its negative influence on your own posture or your postural alignment. But also, our choice of exercise can have a positive or a negative effect on our alignment. As we get older, of course, we also notice some changes in our posture. There is naturally some degeneration of muscle tissue, cartilage, tendon and ligament, and we might notice some loss of bone and some loss of muscle as well, which can affect our posture. And in some cases, it can severely affect the shape of our spine as the spaces between the vertebrae start to decrease. Some of us, of course, also take part in certain sports, and we might be experiencing wear and tear on the skeleton. So there might be problems from running, playing golf, playing tennis, or various other activities. So that wear and tear also has a negative effect sometimes on our postural alignment or the evenness of the muscle tone across the body. Now, I wanted to focus today on a condition called kyphosis, which is a rounding of the upper back. So if I'm going to stand up and turn sideways, you'll be able to see I am actually a little bit kyphotic myself. And if you are somebody that suffers from osteoporosis or osteopenia, you might also be experiencing some rounding of your upper back. Now, when this gets really bad, the shoulders can droop forward and the chest gets very tight. You can see that the upper back is rounder than the rest of the spine, and sometimes the head is drawn forward. This can also be exacerbated if you're somebody that likes to go to the gym and do lots of bench presses, for instance. So if you're doing a lot of chest work, anterior delt work, the front half of your body is very strong, your abs are very strong, it might be that the weaknesses in your back are just being emphasized and your back is actually getting a little bit weaker if you're not doing an equal amount of work on your back muscles. So for somebody like myself who's got slightly rounded shoulders, I find ab work very easy, but a little bit tight across the shoulders and the chest area, then I find some of the back exercises quite difficult, and you might be experiencing that, as I say, if you have osteoporosis or something similar. So the exercises we're going to do today are to help us strengthen the upper back, the rhomboids and lats, and also the triceps. But we at the same time need to be lengthening across the front of the shoulders, possibly lengthening the hip flexors and the hamstrings as well, as they can also play an important role in shortening or tightening the back and just bringing about that poor posture position. So I hope you enjoy the exercises today and enjoy strengthening your back, but just remember to take a little bit of a rest or a break if you need to at any point. We don't want to cause any injuries to your back as we go along. So resting in between is important as well. So I'll see you on the mat. Now, before we start our session on the mat, we're going to do a nice warm-up in standing. Do make sure that you have checked with your doctor, particularly if you have a condition, that the exercises that we're going to do today are suitable for you before you start. Make sure also that you take a nice rest if you need one at any time. And we're going to start off, just make sure you've got a nice stable base with your feet, bringing a little bit of softness to those knees and lengthening up through your spine, relaxing those shoulders back. And we need to keep that chest a little bit lifted. Clasp your hands behind you and just stretch out into those hands, straightening out the arms as you press your shoulders down. Just going to lift those arms up a little bit behind you. So give that chest just a gentle stretch. Take some deep breaths and then releasing down towards the floor again. Keep those shoulders pressing towards your hands. Take an inhalation, lengthening into the crown of your head. As you breathe out now, draw your chin towards your chest and stretching the hands down, we're lengthening the back of the neck, reaching down through the shoulders. Inhale to restack the neck slowly to center. Exhale as you take the head across to one side. Now try not to twist the body. Keep both shoulders back, hips square and level with the front. And then back to center. Inhale, center. Exhale across to the opposite side. And we're still stretching down into those hands behind you. And one more set through. So inhale, center. Exhale, head nod. Really reach down into those hands. Inhale, center. And exhale across. Keeping those shoulders back. Center and across to the opposite side. And then coming center. Well done. Releasing those hands out and roll those shoulders around. Now next we're going to just work a little bit more into the arms. Keeping the arms straight, bring one arm straight ahead and one arm back. And it looks a little bit like this. If I turn sideways, you're reaching into the fingertips. Keep lengthening down with your tail, tightening the tummy muscles, and switch. Exhale, reach. Try not to twist your body. Keep the shoulders square and level, and really lengthen down the arm to the ends of those fingers. Just holding that for a second or so, a deep breath, and reach back with that back arm, stretching to the ends of those fingertips. And you can also feel that in the waist, holding the hips square and level so they don't twist. And one more. Well done. And just shake it out one more time, roll those shoulders out. Now we're just going to lengthen across the front of the chest and shoulders next. So just bring the fingers together in front of your chest and inhale, open the arms out to the side, pressing the backs of your hands towards the back wall. And fingers together and really open that chest, press those arms back and pushing the chest out in front of you, open. Inhale again. Exhale, and we're really drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. So the upper back, you're squeezing those shoulder blades together as you push the chest out. And we'll just do one more. Now hold the hands here and bring the hands directly above your elbow. Have a little look. So turn the head. Hand is directly above the elbow, not in front of it. Check the other side as well. Fingertips, wrists, elbow in line. Elbow is also in line with your body as well for angel arms. Inhale, stretch all the way directly above the head. Exhale and down and out. Inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, down and out. And we're trying to keep those elbows directly below the hands. Elbows in line with the body, chest is still out. Angel arms. Exhale, tighten the waist as you draw the elbows down. And two more. And one more. And the next one is for the mobility of the shoulder. So hold it there and then press the hand towards the back wall. Now this exercise is called the scarecrow, and you can see why. Pressing the palms to the back wall, the elbows stay just below shoulder height. Rotate it. Exhale, press. And two more. We'll just do one more there. Well done. Reach it wide and bring those arms down. Just give that a little roll out there as well. So we're going to take the legs wide now, really quite wide. Turn the toes out and then make sure your tail is reaching down between the legs towards the mat and not out behind you towards the back wall. Engaging those core muscles, belly button towards the small of your back, and that waist needs to feel nice and tight and taut. Shoulders are down and we're just going to circle the arms, a lovely big wide circle, reaching long into those fingertips. Some deep breaths in through the nose for one large wide circle and then out through the mouth. Some lovely deep breaths, reaching, and don't forget you're not just reaching the arms straight up above your head, but also out behind you, really opening up that chest. Now we're going to bring the fingertips of one hand towards your head as though I'm saluting you, and the elbow now coming back a little bit so it's in line with the body. Just be careful the elbow doesn't start to work its way forward across the body. Imagine you've got a plate of glass in front of you and also a plate of glass behind, and we're going to slide directly to the side between those two plates of glass. Inhale to get ready, exhale, and the fingers of the other hand are just gliding down to the side of the knee. Now remember, we're keeping this elbow back, and inhale center. Exhale and inhale. Elbow stays back, and one more. Well done. Let's switch hands. Fingers go to the head, other side goes down, and just take that sidewards move. Really narrowing the waist as you move to the side. And using those waist muscles to draw you back up. Elbow stays back, and one more. And center. So now we're going to bring the fingertips to both sides of the head. Just work those elbows back and go to alternate sides. So you really need to tighten the waist and lift up with your pelvic floor as well. Exhaling across to the side, elbow stays back. Don't let it come across the body. Inhale, center, and opposite side. And just working the breath. Outward breath at the point of most exertion. So if you want to switch to exhaling up, you can. And Lammie desperately wants to play ball. Not playing ball, Lammie. Sorry. And then come center. Now we're just going to release those hips and back and hamstrings. So reaching up with those fingers now. We've got the thumbs crossing over here. So the palms of the hand are facing the front of the room. Draw the hands back above your head. And we've got the arms of a clock. Still between the two plates of glass. Take your clock all the way across to one side. Down towards the bottom of the clock. But keep the palms of your hands facing the front of the room. When you get to 6 o'clock, rotate 180 all the way around, leading up with your little finger on the other side slowly to the top of your clock. Now we're going to reverse it. Going back around the clock, palms stay facing the front the whole time. Switching at the bottom, 180, and leading up with those little fingers. And we'll just do that again. Reverse. To the bottom, arms stay straight. Rotate all the way through. Little finger leads all the way up. And last time round. Clock stretch. Rotate at the bottom. And little finger leads all the way up. Well done. And release that down. And now we're ready to come down onto the mat. So I've come right down onto the mat now, and we're going to find a neutral spine position. This means the knees will be bent, with your feet in line with your sit bones, a small space between your knees and your feet. Now, with your natural alignment, there might be a bit of a curve and therefore a space under your lumbar spine. We need to think about the pelvis being level though, or horizontal with the floor. So if it feels as though the belly button, the upper part of the pelvis, is higher than the pubic bone, just bring that belly button down until it's level with the pubic bone, and vice versa. If the belly button is lower than the pubic bone, just bring it up so it's completely level to find that neutral position. We're going to lengthen the arms down beside you and then really rotate the shoulders back into the mat. Try to find the mat underneath the whole of the shoulder blades. So both of your shoulder blades are flattening and widening and opening down into the mat. And you can start to feel the chest expanding already, but remember, we're trying to keep the pelvis level at the same time. The next exercise, we're going to just find those postural muscles. So with your arms down beside you, lengthening into the fingers, press down into the mat with both arms. So you can feel the back of the arm against the mat, the back of the shoulder against the mat. Now we don't want to allow the back to lift away from the mat, so keep everything engaged. And then we're going to push the head as well now down into the mat. So with the chin softly down, lengthening into the crown of your head, press back down into the mat with the back of your head. And you should just be able to locate those postural muscles between the shoulder blades there, and then release. It's not very visible to the eye, but you should be able to feel that little movement. Now on the next one, we're going to inhale to get ready. And this time, as you breathe out, press down with the middle of your back. So those lumbar muscles, we're drawing down with the belly button, the rib cage, and on the exhalation, just pushing the back to imprint the spine into the mat. Drawing down with the ribs and closing any gap between your back and the mat. And then inhale to release. Now a little combo of the two is next. So inhale to get ready. Exhale, imprint your spine and gently push down into the mat with the back of your head. Keep those shoulders back and release. Now on the next imprint, we'll hold that position. So inhale to lengthen into the crown of your head. Exhale to imprint the spine. Now we're going to take an inward breath, but hold the engaged core and imprinted position. Keep holding your imprint, and on the next exhalation, bring one arm, keeping it long into the fingertips, up towards the ceiling and then over towards the back. Don't lose the rib cage. And we're lengthening in the opposite direction with the fingers. So one arm is reaching up above the head, one arm is lengthening down the mat. And then switch. So on the exhalation, we're making that switch. A little inward breath in between and switch. Each time you're reaching a little further behind. Keep the arm as straight as you can and then press down into the mat with the arm that is alongside the body. Press down and reach. Just feel those shoulder blades beginning to open up, flatten and align. And each time you might be able to reach just a little bit further behind. And then bring both arms down beside you and the feet in a little bit closer to the body now. Heels are now directly underneath your knees, and we need a nice stable base with about 3 fingers width between those knees, ready for some pelvic curls. We'll begin our pelvic curl up into shoulder bridge position with a little pelvic tilt. So imagine your pelvis, at the moment it's level, we're going to tilt it back down into the mat on the exhalation. Inhale to prepare. Lengthen the fingers
Exhale, squeeze down with the ribs and the back, tilting the pelvis back towards you. We're rounding the lower back, lift the tail and then unpeel one vertebra at a time, slowly coming up to the top of your bridge. Now we're really working those postural muscles here as we press down into the mat with the backs of the arms. Inhale at the top, exhale and re-peel upper spine, middle spine, lower spine, and lastly the tail to release back to neutral spine. Starting with the imprint, then going into the tilt, then unpeeling up into shoulder bridge, pressing down with the arms, keep the wrists flat, the fingers long, and then re-peeling the spine one vertebra at a time, rolling through each area, and lastly releasing those glutes. And we'll do that one more time. Exhale, inhale, press, exhale, and inhale, release. Well done. Next we're going to work a little bit deep into the hamstring and just lengthen out those hamstrings. So drawing one knee in towards your chest, just draw that knee towards you, and then exhale, extend up towards the ceiling, really lengthen into the tip of the toe. We'll just bend, draw the knee in, and exhale, stretch that leg. And again, now just watch the chin here. Make sure that chin stays down. We're lengthening the back of the neck. Also, be careful, the shoulders don't round away as you hold on to the back of the leg. And then one more. And hold it there. So just hold that stretch, that hamstring stretch. And we're trying to keep the glute down on the mat as you draw the leg towards you, lengthening the back of the neck and pressing the shoulders into the mat. Slide that bottom leg away down the mat, pressing it strongly downwards into the mat. So this thigh and knee are pushing downwards into the mat. This leg is lengthening away from the centre towards the ceiling. Lovely stretch there and release. So just bring that foot back down to the mat and we'll go to the other side. Drawing the knee close to the chest and extend. Stretch to the tip of the toe, into the chest, exhale, lengthen into the toe, really stretch the feet as well, don't forget your feet. So if your foot has been forgotten and it's relaxed here, stretch and lengthen it so you feel the stretch all the way across the top of the foot as well as underneath it, the arch of the foot as well. And stretch, watching the chin, the shoulders, the glute. And one more. Well done, just hold that stretch. We're going to slide that bottom leg out. Press it down into the floor. Push. Well done. Now, if you're a level 1 person or you have osteoporosis, keep your head down on the mat for the next move, our single straight leg stretch. Otherwise, we're going to unpeel the back of the head, the upper spine, and slide the hands a little higher towards the calf. Exhale, drawing that leg deeper towards you. Inhale and switch. Single straight leg stretch, and we're working quite deep into the hamstring. And still not playing ball, Lammie, sorry. And just one more each side. Well done. And then walk it down, lower the head back down to the mat, and the knee can come in. Bring the feet back down to the mat now. And we're going to place the feet in a little bit tighter, just underneath the knees. Find your neutral spine position. Bring your arms down beside you, lengthening into those fingertips, and prepare for your shoulder bridge position. Inhale, lengthen into the crown of the head. Exhale, tilt and round and peel to the top of your shoulder bridge. And we're holding our bridge position. Now make sure the weight is even over the soles of your feet. We don't want the weight to drift to the outside edge of the foot or the knees to open. So we're keeping the hips nice and high and level and the arms nice and flat, pressing down into the floor. We're going to unpeel one heel, one leg, come back into that hamstring stretch that you had earlier, repeel, straight back down. Watch the pelvis doesn't shift or slip across to one side. We're pushing down quite firmly with the backs of your arms as well. Press into the floor, working those triceps, those back postural muscles, and nice deep breath. Slowly reach. One more. Last time. Pressing into the heel, stretch. Well done. And lifting that tail. Now we're holding our position. See if you can squeeze that tail just up a little bit higher. And then reaching overhead with one arm again. Lengthening out across the floor. And exhale, switch, just as you did earlier. Stretch. Now this time, if you're keeping that tail nice and high, you should be able to feel the floor all the way along that upper arm, all the way overhead to the ends of your fingers. Exhale, switch. Keep that tail nice and high. Well done. Now we're going to reach over with both arms. Lengthen into those fingers. Lift your heels. Lift your tail another half an inch. Lower your heels. Well done. And then bring those arms underneath. A good press down. Inhale. Exhale to repeel upper spine, middle spine. Lengthening that lower back. And then lastly, releasing those glutes. Now we're just going to release out the lower back gently by hugging the knees in and out a few times.
So come down onto the mat now on your tummy in prone position. We're going to work the back a little bit more now. And I'm going to just start off with the forehead down on the mat. Tuck those toes underneath and lift your kneecaps. So those legs are really switched on. Now bringing your arms behind you, clasp your hands together and see if you can stretch those arms out, really lengthening the shoulders. Bring your chin in and lengthen the back of the neck. And then on the next inhalation, we're going to move the body up a little bit away from the floor and stretch into those arms. Exhale to release. You don't need to come up too high. Inhale, stretch into the hands. Keep those kneecaps lifted and shoulders back. And exhale to lower. We'll just do one more prep. Inhale, stretch, reach into your heels, and exhale, lower. Keep the toes tucked under for now and bring the back of your hands down onto the mat, forehead touching the mat. The inside of your arms is just lightly brushing your sides and they need to stay this narrow. Inhale, lifting the upper back, body and arms, pressing the palms towards the ceiling. Twist as you exhale, rotating the thumbs out and up towards the ceiling.
Inhale, twist back. Keep the arms and back up. Exhale, return down to the mat. We'll do that again. Inhale, lift the body and arms. Exhale, twist and squeeze the triceps. Inhale, return. Keep the chin in. Exhale and lower. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Really squeeze those triceps. And lower. Last time. Press. Squeeze. Feel those postural muscles really working as you keep the arms high and narrow. Well done. Just release that out. Bring the hands under the shoulders, and we're coming into child's pose. Toes go together as you push back into your tail and slowly reach the chest between the knees. Then you can bring the head between your arms, but it is the chest that is the lowest point. Remember, if you have a knee injury, your child's pose is on your back. Soles of the feet together, knees wide, spine imprinted, shoulders retracted, arms perfectly straight as you reach towards the back wall. Now for our next back exercise, make sure you come down onto your tummy again. So we're going to come back down into the same position again. Forehead goes down, toes under, lift those kneecaps, bring the arms close by your side, palms facing the ceiling. We're going to come up into that little dorsal raise, but this time fast twists of the whole arm. And we're breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Twist, 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 twist. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last set, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well done. And come down. And we've thoroughly warmed up those triceps now. Relax your feet, and we'll bring the fist underneath your armpit. Take the other side the same. Elbows are in, close by your sides. Chin is drawing towards the chest as you lengthen the back of your neck. Stretch into your toes, squeeze your glutes. We're just pressing up a little bit away from the mat, and then extending those arms, reaching into the fists, high and straight. Slide the fists straight back underneath the armpit there, and again extend, and the fists come under, and extend, and under. Now we're not moving the elbows, they're staying put. Just the lower arm is the only part that is moving. And can we do one more? Tricep extend, extend, and under. Well done. And lower it back down. Now just place those hands together underneath your forehead. And we're still squeezing the glutes, contracting the belly, and lengthening into the crown of your head. Keeping the forehead glued to the back of your hand. Inhale and just hover a little bit away from the floor. And we're going to bring one arm out to the side, lengthen into the fingers, reach it to the back, palm uppermost, out to the side, palm down, all the way in front, stretch, back to the side, reach, and in. Let's do the other side. Reach it out, to the back, palm up, out, palm down, forward and stretch, out and back in, and lower it down. Well done. So now we're going to lengthen the arms out in front. Now I've got a lot of long grass here, so I hope you can see okay. But we're just lengthening those arms, stretch into the fingertips, stretch into the toes, squeeze your glutes, really lengthen into the crown of your head, and just pressing down with one arm. We're just bringing the body a little bit away from the floor and that arm as well, and then lower. Other side. It's a very small move, upper body, slow swim, up and down. We're not doing anything with the legs at the moment, just a little lift, stretch, and down. And again, inhale. So you're pressing down with one arm quite strongly and pushing up with the other. Try not to move side to side though. Straight up and down. And down. Well done. Keep that forehead rotated towards the mat, and it's the turn of the legs now. So really reaching into the toes. Get those legs as straight as you can. And one leg is moving away from the mat. The other leg is pressing into the mat. Exactly the same as it was for the hands or the arms. Down it goes, other side. One leg is moving up, one leg is pressing down. Try to keep your hips on the mat though, so the whole side of your body is not moving. We're just working the back of the glute and the back muscles there. One goes up, one goes down. One more each way. And last time.
Well done. So we're going to stitch those two things together now. So
just gently pushing down into the hands, just to draw the face a little bit away from the mat. Stretch those fingers and toes. And we're lifting opposite arm, opposite leg. Down we go. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Exhale down. Opposite arm, opposite leg for slow swimming, and down. Pressing down with one arm, one leg. Pressing up with the other arm, other leg. One more. Stretch. And down we go. Well done. Now we're just going to take a moment of rest. So hands come underneath the armpit. And just sitting back comfortably on your heels. Relax the elbows. Let the back release. Nice and slow. And the forehead come down towards the mat. I'm just going to take a moment to rest the body. And if your back isn't quite ready, then just stay up a little bit higher. And then come down when you're ready. And you're just finding a comfortable position. Now, if you're not comfortable in that position, you could come onto your back and just hug those knees in. And just let the back release that way. Well done. Now, we're coming back onto our tummies because I did warn you we are working the back muscles quite a bit today. And we're going to have a look at our breaststroke next. So for your breaststroke position, we're going to start off with the hands either side of the mat, reaching out wide into the elbows. Remember, we're long through the back of the neck with the chin slightly in. Don't lift your head into this position and jut your chin forward. We need a big stretch of those legs, and we're squeezing the glutes. We're going to inhale, come up, stretch into the fingers, exhale back, and squeeze. Back to the start position. Stretch and back. Back to your start position. Reach and back. And again, reach all the way back. Two more. Lengthen and back. And one more. And back. Well done if you manage those. And lower it down. Into your sphinx now. Elbows come underneath the shoulders. We're pushing down and forward into the elbow and really lengthening the back of the neck, sending those shoulders all the way down, away from the ears, towards the mat. And just bring the feet together.
Well done. Just hold that little sphinx position, and then just drawing one heel towards your butt gently. Exhale, release. Other side. And release. And release. And just starting to lengthen those hip flexors and quads a little bit. And we'll just do one more. And release. Well done. Child's pose last time. So knees go wide, toes together, and we're sitting right the way back into the tip of your tail. Just allow that back to lengthen. Start to reach out with the fingers all the way down the mat. Head comes between. Don't rest your forehead onto the mat unless your chest is already there. And we've got a little tilt up now. So just going to slightly lift one arm a little bit away, peep underneath your armpit and lower. Other side, just lift that arm a little bit away, peeping underneath the armpit and lower. Really lengthening those shoulders and lower. Keep those arms straight. The chest is coming down each time. And lower. One more. Chest down. A little peep. And lower. Well done. And now it's time to stretch out those hip flexors in a hip flexor stretch. Now, if you have an injury to your knee or something like that, and you can't kneel or find it difficult, roll up your towel or have a bit of padding underneath your knee because we're going to bring one leg forward between the hands, make a 90-degree angle there at your knee, so your knee is directly above the ankle and not forward above the toe. Then we're going to move this bottom knee back a little bit more, so it's coming back behind you, and you can see now the knee is a little bit past or behind that central position. Dropping the hips down and forward in towards the mat. And we've got a lovely long hip flexor stretch. Now we'll hold that hip flexor for a moment. And then let's see if we can come up. Just lengthening down and forward with the hips. Hands can rest on the thigh there. Let's see if we can stretch up with one arm above the head. And then the second arm lengthening into those fingers. Sweep one arm all the way around, big wide circle, lovely breath out. Breathe in. Exhale, other arm, circle it back. Breathe in. And circle. Circle. Well done. Last time. And circle it back. Well done. Now we're going to come down and just carefully come in with that knee. And if you are using a pad, just swap knees over. And then bring the other foot between the hands there. We're going to slide that back knee away to the back and drop the hips down and forward and just hold that hip flexor position. Your front knee is above your ankle, back knee is way behind the hips. Hips are reaching down and forward into the mat. Let's come up on that side slowly, just resting on the thigh and just get your balance. Try and get the hips nice and square and level. Stretch. One arm coming up. There goes the next one. And circle. And circle. And just take some nice deep breaths as you stretch. One more set. Last time. Very well done. And slowly coming out and down. And just bring that foot back underneath the body. Well done. So now we're going to stretch out the back and shoulders to finish. So we'll come first of all onto our backs and roll down carefully onto the mat. We've got the knees together and the feet together, and we need to just find the mat underneath the back. Open up the shoulders as well, pressing those shoulders back down into the floor. And then lengthening your arms out to the side, find the floor underneath the whole of your arms. Pressing the shoulders back and down, stretching to the ends of your fingers. We're going to take the knees across to one side, keeping the knees as level as possible, allowing the hip to lift, but not the opposite shoulder. That stays down. Now this is an important stretch, and it's important that we keep the fingers really straight and stretched, and the arms in contact with the floor all the way down. Turn your head now in the opposite direction. Look all the way down your arm to the ends of your fingers. Slowly come back to center, and then we'll take that stretch to the opposite side. So the knees move as one, and then turning your head to look down the arm to the ends of your fingers. A couple of nice deep breaths there. Stretching out that lower back. And then coming center. Now we're going to repeat that exercise in a tabletop position, a narrow tabletop. So we need to use our core muscles now, tighten the tummy, lift the pelvic floor, and float the feet into narrow tabletop position, where the knees are above the hips and the lower leg is level with the floor. We've got about 90 degrees behind the knee, and we'll take the knees across, keeping them level, about halfway down. Turn your head and look down the opposite arm, and just hold that balance. Come center, and stretching to the opposite side. We're turning the head in the opposite direction. And back to center. Well done. A nice stretch for the lower back. And now coming back up into your seated position, just facing the long side of your mat. I'm going to find a Z sit or mermaid sit. So the shin bone is level with the front edge of your mat, and your back leg is just folded towards the back. Line up your shoulders and hips alongside that front edge, ready for mermaid. We're starting off just pressing down with those hips into the floor there. Inhale to reach up and lengthen the arms straight, bicep close to your ear. Take that all the way across to the side, elbow comes down, stretching into the ends of your fingers. As you exhale, come inhale to center and lengthen, and then exhale across to the opposite side. And again, inhale and exhale, stretch, lengthening into those fingertips. Inhale, center, and exhale. Now this time, I'm going to reach out with the hand and then lift the hip a little bit away from the floor. Bring that hip back down. Keep both hips down as you go to the opposite side. Well done. Do that again. Lift the hip away,
stretch, and lower it down. Keep it planted to the opposite side and come back to center. Now we're going to lengthen out that back leg. See if you can stretch into the heel, pushing your heel towards the back corner of your mat and pushing your hips forward towards the front edge. It's a lovely long stretch through the body. I'm going to take that stretch again though to one side, lift the hip, lengthen, and just hold that for a moment and release. Well done. Now we're going to fold the feet towards the opposite side now, so just take them across, Z-sit, planting those sit bones and beginning that lovely mermaid. Inhale, center, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and again. Well done. Now on this next two, we're going to do that little lift of the hip. So as you come across, lift the hip away, stretch. Keep it down as you go to the opposite side. And one more for that little hip stretch. Lift that hip and lower. Well done. And again, we'll do that lovely long stretch into the heel. Stretch out that back leg towards the back corner of your mat. Roll your top hip forward. Keep your butt tucked in. And then we'll take that stretch. Lengthen into the fingertips and hold it there. Take a deep breath. And release. Well done. Now to finish, we're just going to finish with a nice long full body stretch. Bring your heels together, ready for roll down, sitting tall. Now take a lovely deep breath in and stretch into the ends of your fingers, reaching to the ceiling. Exhale out and over into spine stretch. Lengthen the back of the neck, shoulders back, chin towards the chest. Inhale into the back of the rib cage. Exhale and scooping in with your belly, rounding through the spine, stretching your legs. We're placing one vertebra down onto the mat slowly. Lower back, middle back, upper back. Shoulders, retract those shoulders, chin in, back of the head goes down, and full body stretch. Reach into the fingers, into the toes. Now you can arch your back, opening up between the ribs. Lift that rib cage, stretch even further. Another full breath in. Exhale and release. Well done.
Thank you for joining me again for Pilates on the Water this evening. I hope you enjoyed the session, and don't forget to click like and subscribe, as this is a free way of supporting our channel. And I look forward to seeing you all again on the water soon.